2017, the 100th anniversary year of the First Battle of Bullecourt, a section of tank track was recovered as part of an archaeological project at the battlefield site. It is believed to be part of Tank 796, commanded by Second Lieutenant Hugh Skinner. On the 11th of April 1917, Skinner was one of 11 tank commanders with 11 Company, D Battalion, Heavy Branch Machine Gun Corps, who took part in an assault on the German Siegfriedstellen, known to the Allies as the Hindenburg Line. Clearing paths through barbed wire defences and destroying other obstacles such as machine gun posts, they were tasked with enabling the infantry to follow on unhindered and take the village of Bullecourt. The assault did not go to plan and cost the infantry of the 4th Australian Division, 5th Army, 3,000 men, including 1,142 who were captured. Of the 11 tanks that took part, none reached Bullecourt, and out of a total of 103 men in the tank crews, 52 were killed or wounded.
The plan for the battle was flawed from the outset, and I have been researching why the Germans were able to destroy so many of our tanks. Although tanks had been on the Western Front since 1916, it takes time to train for a completely new form of warfare. The tank crews at Bullecourt were in the early stages of learning how to use mechanics on the battlefield. In addition, neither the tank crews or the Australian infantry had received infantry tank cooperation training to understand each other's peculiarities. Many, including Second Lieutenant Cuthbert Burkett, commander of Tank 797, only had previous battle experience as infantry. They had to learn from scratch how to drive, operate and repair a tank on the battlefield. The tanks seeing service at Bullecourt were the early Mark I and Mark II versions, designed to be training vehicles, and although armoured, it was not of a thickness to be effective in action. Their speed was also an issue. The tanks crawled along at 3 to 4 miles an hour. The 15-minute gap before the infantry followed on was not sufficient, as the Australians were soon parallel and then outstripping the tanks, thereby reaching unbreached barbed wire defences with catastrophic results.
Subsequent histories have disputed the actual position of the tanks at the close of the day. In 2014, Cranfield University was asked to provide archaeological and research support to Operation Joan of Arc, an ongoing project aiming amongst other things to locate the final resting place of at least some of the 9 tanks destroyed on that day in April 1917. In October 2016, Peter Masters, a research fellow at the Cranfield Forensic Institute, undertook geophysical survey work at the battlefield site. The survey concentrated on locating 3 specific tanks, including those driven by Second Lieutenants Burkett and Skinner. Earlier project research of archive materials, including diaries, photographs and trench maps, together with aerial photography highlighting topographical features, showed Peter where to start his work. 2 areas were identified as possible locations for the tanks of Burkett and Skinner. These were excavated in June 2017 with the help of Operation Nightingale, and although no evidence was found of Tank 797, we returned to the beginning, where a part of the track believed to be from Tank 796, commanded by Second Lieutenant Hugh Skinner, was unearthed. So what became of Second Lieutenants Burkett and Skinner? Both survived World War I, and both were awarded the Military Cross following the First Battle of Bullecourt. Skinner was recognised for continuing to command a tank while severely injured, and Burkett for gallantry and skill in handling a tank at Bullecourt. And finally, the project team planned to undertake further geophysical survey and excavation work during 2018 to 19 in their quest to locate the remaining 2 tanks they set out to find, Tank 797, driven by Second Lieutenant Burkett, and Tank 593, driven by Second Lieutenant Morris.